Yeah. What's going on, everybody? This is my studio setup. I am your boy E-Top for 2026. Let's get to it. Yes, I would like to welcome everybody to my studio setup of 2026. This is my very first video for the channel, so hopefully everybody enjoys it. I'm going to go through all of my basic setup, so let's go. Okay, the first audio interface that we are looking at right now is my old trusty sidekick, which is the pre-mobile M Audio. This was an audio interface. I actually got one of the first ones where they allowed the M Audios to finally work with Pro Tools. Back in the days, you can only use Pro Tools audio interfaces, so that has changed back then. But now, it's just something I use in my DJ rig so I can hear my playback through my speakers. Okay, and next on the list is my second audio interface, which is the M-Track 2x2 made by M Audio, and I basically use this to control my DAW for all of my audio going into my DAW, and I am running Ableton Live 11. I know there's a 12. I'm waiting until 13 come out before I spend another $350 for Ableton Live. So there you have it. That's the second audio interface, the M-Track 2x2. And the next audio interface is the MG10XU. This is made by Yamaha. I have basically all my outboard rigs going into this mixer, and then they go into my audio interface that I showed you, which is the 2x2 that goes into Ableton. And I also have it running into my other PC too, which is where I do all of my streaming and where I will be doing all my video recording. So that's my other audio interface. Like I said, it's a Yamaha MG10XU. Let's get to the next one. And the next USB audio interface mixer is the Pro FX10 version 3. Now, this is my main audio interface that goes into my brand new PC. It's the blood and guts of everything. So I got a lot of things coming from different units, and everything meets right here at this station, this audio interface. My microphone, everything that you are hearing me on is connected to this audio interface. So this is the blood and guts. It is the Mackie. Like I said, it's the Pro 10 and it's the version 3. So that's it for all my audio interfaces. Let's move on. Okay, now this controller right here is the MPC Studio Acaia Professional. Now, I actually bought the MPC One Plus. I was so loving the workflow of the MPC One Plus, I decided to buy the controller for the software, which is the MPC software. I think it's MPC 3 or whatever. I got the latest software. I update it every time the new update comes, as well as what I do on my MPC One Plus. But I love this controller. It has a great feel, and it almost gives you that tactile function, just like using a regular MPC. So that's one of my controllers right there, which is the MPC Studio Acaia Professional. And next on the list is the Acaia MPK Mini, and we got the Acaia MPD 26. Now the MPD 26 is something I had for years. Back in the days, you could not really afford MPCs. At least I couldn't. They were not the cheapest on the market. So I thought when I bought the MPD 26 that I was going to get the same MPC feel. Come find out, it took me years to structure that controller in software so I can use it the kind of the same way like an MPC, but it never was like the actual MPC. It's just a nice pad controller. And of course, down bottom, everybody knows about the Acaia Mini, the MPK. Everybody has a version of it. Either it's the 1, the 2, or the 3. And I think it's a 4 out now, or whatever the case may be. But they're good controllers. I keep them in my arsenal. I use both of those controllers inside of Ableton. So that way I can control my sounds and how I want to structure my beats. So let's move on. Okay, next we got the Numark Mix Track. Pretty much I bought this. I wanted to play around with DJing a little bit. I don't use it for DJing. I basically use it to add scratches in my music or whatever, to do some flips. I like to make my own scratches. I don't like to use sample scratches. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I like to touch it. It gives me a tactile feel of scratching functionality or whatever the case may be. So that's what you got right there. That's the Numark Mix Track. It is not the Mix Track Pro, so it does not have a headphone setup in it to where it's its own audio interface. That's why I have the pre-mobile set up to it, so I can hear everything through my speakers out loud and hear in my headphones at the same time. So there you have it. That's the Mix Track. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are on to the next setup here. Right here we got the APC 40 Mach 2. We got the Acaia Professional MIDI Mix, and we also have the Stream Deck Mini. Why did I buy the Mini? At the time when I bought the Mini, it was only $129, but the large Stream Deck with the 12 buttons at that time was like $300. So I was like, I just want the feel of being able to move through scenes and everything. I'll just create more folders, but I needed that to be able to press buttons for shortcuts and keys and whatever. Then when we get down to the APC 40 Mach 2, I needed something to control Ableton. I do not like clicking the keyboard and mouse to do everything. This gives me all the controls. I got fader knobs. I'm able to fade. I got a master. I can cue my scenes. I can pan left and right. I can do everything with this controller. Stop, start, arm tracks, disarm tracks, you name it. Turn up my metronome, all of that. It's a game changer for me, and I needed a mixed console, but it's always a budget thing with me. I couldn't afford a mixer console, but this was the next best thing. It still cost a good buck and a penny. I needed more faders, so I bought the MIDI Mix. Now what I do is, in Ableton, I create a template so I can run down all my mixer knobs and then use the other mixer knobs in MIDI. If I have more than X amount of tracks, if I have like 20, 30 tracks, I can run this out that way. So that is the blood and guts of me controlling Ableton. I also have an Axiom 49 key, which you will see in the next image, but I don't really care too much about talking about it because I barely use it. It's a relic. I'd rather use the mini MPK, or I'll use the Acaia MPD 26. Sometimes I'll get on a 49 key, but I'm not the best when it comes to keys. I pretty much build as I go. I start with a couple chords and I build from there. So I don't really need to have 49 keys, although I got a 62 key Juno rolling. So let's get to that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, right here we have the Juno D. This is one of the pieces of my outboard gear. I bought this in conjunction with the MPC One Plus because I wanted to have more sounds. I don't buy a bunch of plugins from Acaia when it comes to the MPC. I think a lot of that they should give it to us free because of what we pay for those machines. But that's neither here nor there. But right here we got the Juno D. I use it. It's very powerful. It has a lot of classic sounds in it, and it got an arpeggiator and all of that in it. So I'm starting to learn how to use all of that. So there you have it. That's the Juno D. And last but not least, we got the MPC One Plus. This is the flagship of my setup. I'm running this crazy. I make mostly all my beats in there now. I got beats in Ableton. I got beats in the MPC professional software, but mostly when you see me doing my beat making videos, you're going to see me on this MPC One Plus. I'm not going to get the MPC flagship, the X. I'm going to probably get the MPC Live 3, but I'm gonna wait a little bit because you know how Acaia is. Come Christmas, something new might be coming out. That's probably a little bit more price point friendly. I think it will be something along the means of the MPC One Plus, but it's going to be a little bit more powerful, probably double the power and a little bigger and around the same price point, probably $100 more. But we'll get to that and see what's going on around Christmas, around the time when they like to release new things. But it is my flagship. I had no problems with it. I'm running a 500 gig hard drive standalone off of it, so I save nothing on the MPC One Plus except for when Acaia runs updates or when they give us something free. That's when everything goes to the hard drive of the MPC. I learned that. Everybody says it. Don't save nothing to your MPC. Save all your beats and everything you make, your music, on a standalone hard drive. Personally, I bought a cheap hard drive off of Amazon. It only ran me about $80. It's a 500 gig. I didn't want to go to a terabyte because I didn't know if the controller, I'm sorry, it's not a controller, if the machine, standalone machine, would support up to a gig of storage space. So I just limited myself to a 500 gig hard drive. Save all my beats on there. My MPC runs fast. It never slows down. I have no problems out of it. And this is the flagship of Etox Music. So there you have it. That's my setup for 2026.